Welcome to the Double Dribble Podcast with Dubin and Dakil on the RealGM Network. Yeah, we've made it to week 2, Jared. We're doing well. That's Jared Dubin, author of this newsletter, Last Night in Basketball. Make sure you're checking that out. You're going to get a lot of great stuff. And as the playoffs come, you're going to want to be a subscriber to that. Get that in your inbox regularly. He's going to give you all the stuff you missed and things like that, good video clips. Or he might provide confirmation for something you saw, and you're going to feel even better about your opinions with that. But more importantly, he's going to make you a smarter fan. Make sure you're subscribing to his newsletter. I'm Mo Dakil, former video coordinator with the Clippers, Spurs, Team Australia, contributor on NBA TV, and I do videos on Offside. Make sure you're checking out all our stuff on Offside. Download the beta app. Let us know what feedback you got. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff. And again, the playoffs are coming. We're all going to be kicking it up into high gear. We're here on the RealGM Network. I'm assuming you're subscribed to the feed, but if you're not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You're going to get us twice a week. You're going to get Wes Goldberg twice a week. You're going to be rolling in a lot more basketball information. Make sure you're joining us on the podcast. Rate, review, subscribe, all that. Remember, I'm looking for 5 million reviews. All positive, by the way. 5 million 5-star reviews is really all I want, Jared. I've talked a lot. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, and I still think 5 million is a reasonable goal, but we do have an interim goal, I think, still of 500. So let's get there first, and then we can go all the way to 5 million.
All right. Well,
you know what? I don't know if the real GM feed might already have 500, so we might have already surpassed the interim goal. So
we cheated. We cheated by jumping on another feed.
Yeah. So let's get all the way to 5 million. That's like I said, it's a reasonable thing to shoot for.
Yeah, I think so. Look, some people shoot for the stars. I shoot for freaking Pluto. I'm going. Let's go to the next galaxy. Let's see what we find there. Can't be any worse than what we got going on here these days.
The Project Hail Mary, and they go all the way out there. However many.
Yeah, see, I want to see. Well, it's funny because nobody cares about this, but I started watching For All Mankind.
The first 2 seasons are awesome. The second season in particular is absolutely incredible. Beyond that, not quite as much.
Okay, so I didn't realize it's been going on for 5 seasons.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit, I got a lot to catch up on. I'm still working my way through season 1. But yeah, so now I'm all spacey into it. And then we got Artemis 2 lifting off.
Did you see that video, by the way, of the people on Artemis 2 where they filmed a video as like a parody of, 1980s sitcom intros?
No, I've not. I need to go
Oh, my God. I saw it the other day. It was so funny.
Okay, I got to go find that. But speaking of stars, we got big stars on Saturday night.
Nice transition. That's a good transition.
See, I'm good at this. Big stars showed out on Saturday. Really a phenomenal game. San Antonio Spurs, Denver Nuggets. I love these noon games. I love these 12:30 Saturday, Sunday afternoon games. Like, it's kind of perfect. I think we need more of these through the course of the season. Overtime win for the Nuggets. But, like, Wemby was phenomenal. 34 points, 18 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 freaking blocks. It's pretty impressive right then and there. Jokic, just a simple little 48-13 type of night. Big thing in this one for me with Jokic, 0 turnovers, which has been a problem for him through most of it. The Nuggets mostly healthy. No Peyton Watson in this game, but mostly healthy. We kind of got to look at them. And this is a potential second-round matchup. Jared, just off the rip, what's your takeaways from this game?
I feel like we've said this multiple times, but that was the game of the year.
Too many times. I've said it on so many cases that my wife has turned to me after a game going like sarcastically, game of the year, great game, another great game, Mo. Like she's like sarcastically because I say it so much. But it was a freaking great game.
Oh my God, it was incredible. And even though Jokic and Wemby weren't guarding each other for most of the time, there was a stretch in the second half in the fourth quarter and in overtime where Wemby was guarding Jokic. It was just incredible to see them go back and forth throwing haymakers. Like Wemby with the blocks, Wemby with that top of the key three that he banked in, Jokic with all different kinds of assists from all different angles, Jokic with that turnaround jumper over Wemby, where even Wemby looked like defeated on defense for the first time that I can ever remember. He just like turned around and threw his hands up in the air like this. I mean, just incredible stuff going back and forth. Stephon Castle was unbelievable. The defense that he was playing on Jamal Murray for almost the entire game, just like face guarding him, incredible. And Murray still wound up with only 15 points, but 10 assists on the game. Aaron Gordon's defense down the stretch, especially in that last play in the fourth quarter where he forced Wemby into a difficult look.
Save that, because I want to talk about that specifically in a second, but keep...
Julian Champagnie just knocking down every three. I think he had 6 or 7 threes in the game. There were so many different things that you could point to.
I mean, Christian Brown, 5 of 11 from 3. The Spurs basically were like, we're going to let him bomb away. He was killing them from the corner.
Like, please shoot these threes. And he was like, all right. And it was finally, the guy's shooting like south of 30% from 3 on the year. Cam Johnson hit a few big threes. There was one that put them from up 1 to up 4. I can't remember if it was in the fourth quarter or overtime. That was particularly huge. Just everybody stepping up in a bunch of different ways.
So, looking at it first from the Spurs side of things, this is the 14th time they've blown a double-digit lead this season. They said it on the broadcast, right? So, of their 19 losses, 14 of them, they've been up double digits. Okay? I hope that's right. If the broadcast screwed me, I'm going to be so pissed. But that's a big deal to me. And that's a product of a young team. Because they were winning this game the whole way through. Right? Like the Nuggets...
Felt like, just to very briefly cut you off before you finish, when we talked about the Thunder-Knicks game a couple weeks ago, where it felt like the Knicks were swimming upstream the entire time, it felt like that for the Nuggets a lot of the game, but they actually, got where they were going and came away with the win.
And it was like every time the Nuggets would cut the lead to like 6 or something like that, the Spurs would extend it to like 13.
So
like it kind of...
I have the stat here too.
Am I right or wrong?
It might not... So it doesn't count games where they led by 10 points, but in games where they were ahead by 11 to 15 points, they're 49-11. So it's reasonable to expect that they might have 3 losses when they were ahead by 10.
Yeah. All right, but even if it's 11 losses, of your 19 losses, 11 of them, you were up 11 points or more. Like that's a thing good teams don't do that often. And this is a young team thing. This is something I think is something you see a lot happen, and this is something I'm going to keep an eye on come playoff time. Like this is one thing I'm very high on the Spurs. But, like, this is one thing I'm like, all right, we got to kind of monitor this a little bit. Make sure we're keeping track of that with where they're at. I want to go to that last shot because Aaron Gordon couldn't have played better defense on Wemby than that. And, Jared, let me tell you, when he let it go, I thought it was in.
So did I.
It's like, that's how freaking unfair this dude is. And this is his 3rd year. Like, we're not even at the point where it's like, that thing was like, Gordon, there's nothing else Aaron Gordon could have done defensively. And the thing just hit the back, was just a little bit long, a touch long in that. But now, of course, that's that, 97-foot wingspan that allows you to get that off. But, like, holy shit, man. And then, you got to give the play before, which led to the Nuggets tying it. I don't know if this was a call in the huddle or something Jokic saw and Gordon knew, or just I don't know whether this was figured out by the staff or just happened organically. But the last few possessions, what was happening was Jokic would get a switch, and as soon as Jokic would get it, Wemby would immediately come over. Right? And that's exactly what happened on the last play, and that led to the Aaron Gordon dunk to tie it. I don't know if they just saw that and recognized it, or if it was Jokic and Gordon with their, psychic connection. But, like, that's one where they took advantage of Wemby a little bit, almost too quickly coming. Like, I almost wish, if I was a Spur fan, I would have waited a beat and then go. But it's also like, it's the last second play. You're trying to get a stop.
They
I
went
get
to
it.
him on the pass, like even before he touched the ball. It seemed like it was just a really well designed play where Gordon set a screen for. I can't remember if it was
Well,
Murray or
they were
Cam
getting
in
the
one
switch.
direction, and then they flipped the screen to bring Jokic in the opposite direction, coming down from the opposite elbow to the block, and then Gordon right away slipped the screen to the basket. Like it had to have been the design of the play.
It leads to me also thinking that teams really need to rethink in certain situations, switch everything late clock. Like I just think there are certain instances where maybe it's like, hey, Wemby, I just want you on Jokic. Like, do not switch off of him. Stay on him. Stay squared with him. Be with him the whole way. So, like, those are my points with, like, the Spurs. It's great that they played as well as they did. I don't think this is this loss hurts them, but it's a thing of, like, all right, we still, it might actually help them of, like, hey, we need to be a little bit better about these things down the stretch. And then blowing that lob, was it overtime? Yeah, like, that was, like,
Look, that's what happens when you throw lobs to Florida State, guys.
Okay, Miami. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. It's been a tough week for Trojans.
Yeah. Another thing on the Jokic to Gordon play, I think, you mentioned rethink the switch everything. Like, I think a little bit later in the clock, 3-4 seconds left, maybe switch everything. 9 seconds left, it may have been a little bit too much time.
Right. It was just crazy. And I mean, this was one of those games when you watch. I just sat there and just started going, wow. Like, this was a great freaking game. 16 total turnovers combined in this game. Like, that's well played basketball for what you're getting. On the Nuggets side of things.
One more thing on the Spurs.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
De'Aaron Fox down the stretch sort of struggling to figure out where his offense was going to come, and he had a couple air balls. Both of them were sort of late clock grenades. One of them Wemby gave him, but there was another one where Gordon just kind of locked him up. I'm not overly concerned about that. I'm just curious if you had anything on Fox's sort of late game struggles in this one.
I'm not concerned. I think it's still trying to, and it might not happen this year, but still trying to figure out where him trying to figure out where he fits at the end of game offense in that situation. And I think there's a little bit of, he's trying really hard to kind of find his spots there. I will say this was pretty bad though. Him and Castle combined for 0 for 10 from 3. Kind of rough.
Don't have that.
Kind of rough. Dylan Harper, great in this game.
Oh, yeah.
He was awesome in this game too. Like, off the bench for them. Like,
I've never seen a lefty get to his right hand so easily. It's incredible.
I mean, this is because everybody always jumps on the left so hard on lefties, and it's like,
but he's so good at getting there.
I know, but part of it is the defense aids him in that. Also, I should also mention Keldon Johnson 0 for 6 from 3. So that's a combined 0 for 16 from 3 guys for the Spurs. That's a rough one there. Going to the Nuggets, this was an important win for them in general. They're on a win streak. This is 9 in a row at this point. But, like, when you look at who they... What's that?
I think it's 8 in a row.
8 in a row, excuse me. But when you look at who they've beaten, it's not anybody... Like, and they've won some of these games where you're like, damn, man, it really took the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter for you to put away the Jazz, huh?
Like that 7-game Knicks winning streak.
Yeah, exactly. But this was an important little shot at the Knicks. We weren't even going to talk about them today. It's like me in Orlando. But the way you're kind of looking at it, like, this was a big one for them in that sense. I thought, and he's been playing better. Cam Johnson's been playing a lot better over the past month or two. Mm-hmm. This was a huge game for him.
Yeah,
I thought this was a monster game for him. Just his confidence and getting that feel for what he was going. 4-8 from 3. I thought he made a bunch of big plays. Like you talked about, that 3 that put him up 1. I think that was in overtime. And then it's all of that stuff. But let me ask you this question. This is more of a hypothetical, big picture question for you. Okay? The Nuggets are currently tied for 4th with the Lakers. The Lakers have the tiebreaker, it seems, because they're still 3rd. But we know we're going to talk about them in a second. I'm going to throw this at you. And if the standing stayed this way, right? If 5-6 stayed this way, Houston 5, Minnesota 6. Okay. Would you rather play Houston in the first round, knowing that you're going to get OKC in the second round? Or would you rather get Minnesota in the first round, knowing you're going to get San Antonio in the second round?
Oh, Minnesota, San Antonio. Like, no question.
But here's the thing: like, if Minnesota's healthy, I don't know. Minnesota plays them so freaking tough.
They do. I just want to avoid the Thunder at all costs until the latest possible round.
Sometimes I just want to get them early, beat them early. Boom, just get just
What
down.
a weekend for the Thunder, by the way. You
This has worked out perfectly for them.
Couldn't have possibly worked out better.
I mean, they're lined up.
It looks like San Antonio and Denver are going to play in the second, because the Lakers and Nuggets are tied for the third seed right now. But the Lakers, we'll talk about them. They lose Luka and Reaves, so Denver's going to get the third seed. So now you get San Antonio, Denver in the second round, and the 4-5 is probably Lakers Rockets. So you get the winner of that series in the second round.
Right, because Minnesota's 3 games behind Houston. They're not going to catch them really at 5, I think, at this point. I just think, man, like that's, and more importantly, you get the Nuggets and Spurs, just bloodbath second round matchup. So whoever comes out is like bloody and beaten and battered as they come in. Like that's something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't put it past Minnesota to beat the Nuggets in the first round, though. I'm just going to put it out there. They're not playing that well. We got to figure out what goes on with Ant and all of that stuff. But, like, I just wouldn't quite put it past them in that regard.
I wouldn't put it past them either, but the path, I would still rather Oklahoma City in the conference finals rather than the second round, because I would like to get to the conference finals.
All right. To me, like, I guess I'm an asshole. I want to beat the King right away and let everybody know.
You got to beat him either way, but I would rather get farther in the playoffs before having.
And I'm an older team, right? Like how that Gordon hamstring. Let's make sure that thing's ready to go. Like that's the longer you go, it's like we're putting more stress on.
But if Aaron Gordon's going to injure his hamstring, then it doesn't really matter when it happens.
All I'm going to say is, I understand that I'm probably in the minority with that, but I understand the merits. I think either way, we're going to have a lot of fun, and the Thunder are just going to roll through to the conference finals as they play the winner of whoever in the first round of the play-in and all that stuff.
I can't believe they're going to get the winner of Lakers Rockets in the second round. Unbelievable.
So that's so crazy. That's just how it works sometimes. Unfortunate stuff. And we're going to talk about why that's so unfortunate on the other side of this break. And we're back, folks. You're listening to the Double Dribble podcast on the RealGM network. That's Jared Dubin. I'm Mo DeKeel. I don't know if I need to really reintroduce ourselves at this point in the podcast. At some point, I'll stop, folks. Like, I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. I'm trying to just be a good host, teammate, all that fun stuff. All right. Jared already gave me the nod of, like, just keep it moving, dude. Like, just stop. And I'm like, all right, I got you. I saw that. Lakers just got fucking crushed. It's equated to a video I saw on social media of this couple doing a puzzle together. And just as they're about to put the last piece of the puzzle, the husband just swipes the whole board, the puzzle off the ground, tearing it apart. So it's like, that's kind of what happened to the Lakers. Austin Reaves out 4 to 6 weeks with a left oblique strain. Mm-hmm. Jokic, Jesus, sorry. Doncic out most likely for the remainder of the regular season with a grade 2 hamstring strain. I mean, fuck, man. LeBron's still 41. He didn't get younger. Like, that's unfortunate. They're kind of, like, I mean, let's just be honest. They're kind of screwed. Like, these injuries coming at the worst possible time for them.
I don't think they're kind of screwed. They're screwed. Like, you saw the game against the Mavericks last night. they're rolling out like Luke Kennard has a triple double because he's basically the primary ball handler for them. They're rolling out like what's his name? Why am I drawing a blank off the top of my head? Nick Smith for a couple minutes, Bronny James for a few minutes, like Kobe Buffkin for a few minutes. Like these are the guys that are handling the ball for them, in addition to Luke Kennard and LeBron, who combined for 26 assists in that game. But are you really going to be able to count on those guys to create your entire offense while Luka and Reaves are out? Like the whole point of this stretch where they were playing well was they moved LeBron into a sort of tertiary offensive role, and now he has to go right back to being the guy at the controls of everything. It's just it's really hard to see them making a run or even getting out of the first round, even if they're playing against Houston. Like, it's just really hard to see them having enough offensively to be able to do that, especially because it's going to affect their defense too. I know they're taking 2 negative defenders out of the starting lineup, but you're going to be playing not set defense more often because you're not going to score as well. LeBron is not going to defend at the same level he was, and Luke Kennard is going to be out there, so you're putting a negative defender out there to begin with.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, no Marcus Smart, we should also add. One of their better defenders, even though he's also relatively old. And now that just the miles you're putting on guys like LeBron played 39 minutes last night. Like that's you could see it in the course of the game of him fading and getting tired. And that's totally acceptable on his end, but like because he had to do so much, but it was exhausting. Like there were moments where like he's burst in transition, gets the pass, dunk, everything. Oh, look at him. Oh, this is amazing. 41. That was the second quarter. Fourth quarter, he looked tired. Fourth quarter, he looked like, y'all got it. Like let me rest for a second. I think there's a level of, they're going to put a lot more stress on him as well in all of this. There's a lot of wrinkles to this with these injuries that I want to touch on. But like, this is pretty big in the sense of, this is a team that we thought at least we're like definitely a first round winner, most likely going to win their series in the first round. And people were looking around like, hey man, their experience might be too much for the Spurs. Like it was a level of like some, people who want to talk experience over inexperience. Like we're looking at the Lakers saying like, they probably weren't going to pick the Lakers, but they're like, this is going to be more of a series. And now we're looking at it going like, they're probably going to drop to 4, and not out of the realm of possibility they drop to 5. I don't know if they have the tiebreaker.
With 2 games ahead?
They're one game ahead in the loss column. They're actually 1 game ahead, period. So okay. I don't know who has the tiebreaker between Houston and LA, but like they could even lose home court in the first round. Like that's a legitimate possibility for where they're at, and I think that's something that like it just sucks.
The Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Rockets.
Okay, so they are basically 2 games over. The Houston has to win by +1, so right. It's but like still
they're a game behind. There are only 4 games left. Like you got to go 3-1. Like you can't just go 3-1, 2-2. It has to be 4-0, 2-2.
Yeah, you're in that kind of. It's a tough spot to be in, and I think it's just really shitty in terms of bad luck. Ultimately, at the end of the day, with how well both those guys were playing and how the team was playing all together, we were talking about their defense looks better. They look like they're more connected. They're more of a team. They're more locked in. All that. Like I'm pretty disappointed. It just sucks. Like we're hoping to have more fun. With that, injuries always suck. But then there are like weird stories. Did you see the thing that JJ Redick said about the MRI on Austin Reaves? That they did the wrong side? Like they were on the road and he got an MRI. And they scanned the wrong side.
Like they scanned his right oblique instead of his left oblique?
Mm-hmm. Let me make sure I have this right. Because I'm pretty sure I read that. This could be a real life case where I got fooled by the internet.
I can't believe that. That's absolute insanity.
I'm telling you. Nope, it's being reported. Dallas did wrong MRI scan on Austin Reaves per JJ Redick a day ago. Doesn't change he didn't have a strained oblique, but he did look like he was in pain when he went out and played.
Yeah. But how do you, I mean, I'm flabbergasted. How do you scan the wrong side? I shouldn't be laughing. Like, that's insane.
Scary.
That is among the 79 weird things that have happened this season. That is certainly well up
By
there.
the way, that has flown completely underneath the radar. Like that has not really been discussed at all. And I'm like, yeah, man, just chalk it up to just. I think it's been a great season, but it's also been weird. We've had weird stories and weird things happening all season, and this is one of the ones there. So he's out 4 to 6 weeks, which is essentially out for the season. I find we're getting a rash of these oblique tears. I'm gonna text a buddy of mine who's a former strength coach and just ask him like, why are we getting more of these now than I don't remember us getting becoming a regular NBA injury. Where
I'd have
we're
to
seeing
ask
that.
or look up on In Street Clothes from Jeff Stotts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I remember both Paolo and Franz had them last year at basically the same time.
Yeah, and when they had it, I remember going like, we don't see that often. And now you have Austin with that. It's a bit weird with that. And then there's this other story. So this is the Luka story that's a bit weird for a couple of things. One, he's applying for the exception because he's at 64 games. He missed a game because of his being overseas for his baby's birth. And so now like they're going to apply for that, but you can't till the season ends, which is also part of weird sort of setup. Good luck to all the voters who have to will probably get their ballot way later than they're used to. And have to sort through all of that stuff. So see if they get that exception gets accepted or denied. And then there's the stuff where he's going to Europe to try to speed up his process. I remember a while back when Kobe went to Germany to get the platelet plasma enrichment stuff, and then now it's become a regular thing here in the PRP. I'm just saying, like, people are like, why would you have to go? Europe does some stuff a little bit better than us when it comes to healthcare. Let's just be honest. I think there is a level of that stuff. Now I'm just curious, like, is there a possibility he could be back before the playoffs begin?
It would just be pulling something out of my ass if I said either yes or no. Like, I have no idea how it's going to work there.
And should he? Like, would you even risk it?
No. Like a hamstring, that seems like an incredibly dangerous thing to mess with. Like, especially a grade 2 strain. Like, we've seen the guys out for multiple months when they have grade 2, grade 3 strains. To come back from that in like 2 weeks would be pretty nuts. To come back from it in a month would be pretty nuts, you know? Like, pushing the timeline any further than that seems incredibly unwise. I will say also I was listening to Bill and Zach this morning. Someone made a good point. They sent in an email to Simmons where not only did Luka miss 2 games for the birth of his child, he got 16 technical fouls and he got suspended for a game. And if he would have played in that game, he wouldn't have to worry about this right now.
That's true. And I love Bill's thing of like, well, if he behaved the way we talk to our dog, you wouldn't be in this mess. Was kind of funny. It's just say this.
True. Like it's
I get it, but I'm gonna because I'm halfway through that podcast, and I'm gonna give you what Zach said, which was pretty funny too. He's like, yeah, but is the NBA gonna come out anti-family? We're punishing the guy for seeing his daughter like get baby's birth.
No,
like,
they should come out as anti-technical foul.
Right. It's just part of it is it's a fucked up rule. It's a dumb
Such a
rule.
stupid rule. Like,
at the very least, if they had a caveat of, I've said this multiple times, I'm pretty sure I stole it from somebody. Apologies if you're listening and you're like, that was my idea first. Sorry. I know it wasn't mine because we all know I'm not smart enough. But if you add the thing of like 65 games or 2,000 minutes, a lot of these guys would qualify for awards and we wouldn't have to really worry about it. Like, it's just, I think that should be an important caveat there with that. I hate this whole, He only played 5 minutes in this game, so it doesn't count. I understand why that's in place, but also, like, now this is really backfired. I don't want to have this conversation. We're all on the same page. It's a stupid rule. Needs to be, at the very least, tweaked, if not completely erased from our memories.
Let's just trust the voters to figure out differences in playing time. That's what I got to say about it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we really got to do when we're going into it. So the Lakers are kind of fucked.
Good for
I want to.
They weren't going to get out of the first round, and now maybe they can.
Now they're like, yeah, baby, playoff bonus. You know, those folks in the video room and the support staff are like, yeah, baby, get that playoff pool bigger for us.
Well, you make more, honestly, I don't know how.
The further you go, you make more
money. The further you go.
Yeah, the further you go is a bigger pool.
I thought there was just like, this is a playoff bonus.
No, it's not a flat. The further you go, the more it is. And I'll give you some inside baseball for folks, because most support staff people do not have it in their contract whether they get a share or not. The head trainer might, but whether they get a full share, half share, whatnot. What usually happens is the end of the year, the end of the season, the players all get told how much the playoff bonus is, and they can divvy up who they want to give some of their share to. And that's how playoff bonus, or the coaching staff just decides, right? Every team does things differently. There's all sorts of setup with that. But like, if you're a player and this is your guy, like this is your workout guy, and he's with you the whole season, you give him a little extra ends, with that. So that's more just kind of small inside baseball that probably nobody really cared about. But it always mattered. It mattered to me.
Not a normal person.
That we know. You went to Miami. It's like, of course you're not. I want to talk about this real quickly. Steph Curry's back. Came off the bench against Houston. Again, that's the way of just trying to control minutes. It was really funny because there was a moment in the second half where like it looked like the Rockets were going to start to pull away, and I think Kerr was just like, "Nope, let's get Steph in right now," earlier than normal to just kind of get him back going. In 26 minutes, 11 of 21 from the field, 5 of 10 from three, 4 assists, finished with 29 points, plus 12. They lost by 1, where Steph had a shot at the buzzer and missed it. On the Rockets side, Şengün was awesome. Jabari Smith was awesome. Kevin Durant was freaking great. I mean, they had it all going. All 5 of their starters in double figures, with Thompson with 18 and Shepard with 11. They really had a lot of juice cooking. It was an interesting game, but my bigger thing to you is seeing Steph back brought a little bit more juice to the Warriors. Like when I watched the game, and it just made me wonder: are they a little? We're not getting a 1-8 upset in the West, but are they a little bit more dangerous? I mean, obviously they're more dangerous because they have Steph on there. But should we take them a little bit more seriously?
So I didn't see the game last night. I'll probably go check it out after this because it was apparently a very good game, and I do want to see how Steph looks, but. Should we take them a little more seriously? To beat the Blazers? Yeah. To go and beat the Suns or the Clippers after that? I don't know. To beat the Thunder? Absolutely not.
Well, can they if they were the 8 seed, can they push the Thunder? Can they get 2 games off the Thunder? And I think Porzingis is a good piece for them. No, that so dismissive.
I would be surprised if they got 1 game off the Thunder.
If you're not watching on YouTube, Jared gave me such a dismissive look in his face of like, why are you even asking? And I'm sure some of you guys are even saying the same. Well,
when you said 2 games, I was like,
well, because you can get 1. Like I kind of just look at last year Memphis. If Ja doesn't get hurt in Game 3 where they're up 29, I think they get a game off the Thunder. I thought that was, and they blew that ridiculous lead, and of course the Thunder came back and won, and then we know the story. All right, well, I guess like you kind of dismissed it so much, it sort of took the winds out of my sail. We're gonna go to.
We disagree. Let's go there.
No, I don't know how I don't know how serious I take
disagree
it.
on something, so let's go into it.
I don't know how serious I take it, but like I just feel like Draymond has looked unbelievable defensively. I should say this also. They did lose yesterday. Like I do have to recalibrate a little bit in that stuff, but I think if Steph plays his normal minutes, I think it's a different game. Porzingis could not handle Şengün. He fouled out. It was pretty. Şengün just ran right through him over and over again. Fouled him out early in the fourth quarter. And I think Porzingis has quietly been a really good piece for them. Since he started playing and is healthy again. I think that's kind of something I've noticed, and I think we need to kind of acknowledge. I'm not as dismissive. I think I agree with you. I don't think they take a game, but I'm not as dismissive about it. Also, again, weird freaking season. And you're right. I'm not sure they beat the Clippers. But also, I've seen this Clipper team play very up and down too. After kind of getting back into the good graces on the winning side.
They got to beat the Blazers first. They got to do both of this on the road. They got to go beat the Blazers on the road, and then they got to go beat the loser of Suns Clippers on the road. And you got to do both of those things. You can't just split them 1-1.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question: of the four teams, who gives the Thunder the most interesting run? Or nobody.
It's
or nobody.
For the Clippers. Phoenix just because they're incredibly annoying to play against, and the Clippers because they have Kawhi.
I think I go Clippers.
Yeah, probably.
I think, again, it's just, no matter what, Kawhi has the ability, even with Shea on the floor, to be the best player in a game. Mm-hmm. Like that's just when he's at that moment, he can be the best player in the game. Like on the court at that time.
It would be just an incredibly annoying 4-game series.
Yeah. I think it would be 4 incredibly close games. Where if this broke this way, or if this call, and then the complaining of calls will be phenomenal.
And the Thunder would have to be swatting away a gnat the entire time.
Yeah. And of course also with Dylan Brooks being the added factor.
Right.
Of
oh my God. How fast would Dylan Brooks foul out in a game against the Thunder?
Ooh.
I watched his first game back the other night. I can't remember. I think it was Orlando. He had 3 fouls in the first quarter. I was like, this is just classic Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, this is always has to do something dumb in the playoffs. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back, and Jared's going to throw a curveball at me. And we're back, folks. And Jared, I just let you take this away. What's your You said you had something for me before we started, and I said, let's go. What is it?
Yeah, I mean, usually you're the one throwing something at me, so I'm going to throw something at you. Did Cooper Flagg's insane run over the weekend where he had 96 points in 2 games, became the first teenager ever to score 50 points in a game, did that change your feelings about the Rookie of the Year race? And do you think, how much stock do you put into late season pushes and specific flashbulb moment games like that?
Yeah, so I think off the bat, it's definitely made it more of a race where it was a week ago.
And the odds flipped, by the way. I saw the Hoop Collective guys were talking about that on their podcast. The odds flipped where Knipple had been the favorite and now Flagg is the favorite at DraftKings.
Right. And I think part of it too is he's doing this, what he's doing is mostly against non-tanking teams. The run that he's on is teams, they lost to Orlando where he dropped the 50, but that's a team that desperately needs this win. Mm-hmm. Beat the Lakers, obviously beat up a bit, but still. Okay.
They beat the South Bay Lakers plus LeBron.
Be a little nicer. They have, Luke Kennard. He was decent. But they're I don't know how much I'd put the late season push into it because it's a whole season award.
Right.
But he has definitely closed the gap. We talked about it when Bontemps with the straw poll and he threw in the rookie one. How quickly I was able to go Con 1, Cooper too. Now it's more a conversation.
It was not close in the straw poll. It was 80-20. And like, even if those 80 votes were like, oh, it's 51-49 or it's 55-45 or it's 60-40, to still break that strongly for Knipple implies that it was not a particularly close race, but the odds flipping that quickly is really interesting. I'm curious how many people, because so the straw poll isn't the 100 actual voters. It's supposed
Right.
to like be representative of the field, and there are a lot of actual voters involved in it. I'm curious how quickly things will flip, especially because a lot of the people that aren't voters in the straw poll are TV people. So I'm curious how that is going to affect the way that the vote actually turns out.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is this is the thing that's unfair for Cooper is the injury where he missed so much time.
Right.
And that's really where Khan kind of took over. Mm-hmm. And then there was the game in Dallas, the Charlotte Dallas game, where, you know, it was an awesome game down the stretch, and then Khan kind of helped lead the Hornets to the win. So he kind of
steal down the stretch of the game.
Yeah, you kind of win.
Flag too, right? It was a steal.
Yeah, it was on Flagg. Flagg had the bad turnover at the on the need to play, I think it was. But like there's a lot of that stuff. It's just I just gotta say the fact that Con Knipple leads the league, not leads rookies, leads the league in made threes is pretty impressive, and it's not close. It's not like he has a 1 or 2, 3 lead. It's like last I checked, he was up like 8 or 9. And obviously Luka was second, but obviously he's not going to make any more threes for a while unless this is a miracle cure in overseas that he's going to get. And then behind him is LaMelo Ball, but it's like not close how far ahead he is in made threes. I won't be upset either way who wins it. Both are deserving. I still lean Con, but Cooper is closing. If he has another 40, 50-point game, I might be like, all right, now we're neck and neck.
I feel like we are pretty close to neck and neck, but I should also say, like, it's not like Flagg has been on a finishing kick. Like, before these two games where he went insane over the weekend, since his return from injury, he was at 42.4% from the field and 18.2% from three. Before these two games where he went nuts over the weekend. And that's like a not insignificant portion of the season, like 15 games or something. And when you're only playing 60, 67, 68 games or whatever it is because you missed however many games because of the injury, all of a sudden that's like almost a quarter of your season.
Right.
Where you didn't shoot well at all. And he had the stretch where he started really cold. But from the start of December through his injury in early February, it was 22.9 points, 6.6 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 2 stocks per game with 49, 34, 81 shooting line and really good defense during that stretch. Like, there was a stretch of the season where he was legitimately incredible and looked like, oh my God, this is going to be exactly the guy that we thought he was going to be, and maybe even better because he was better offensively than we thought he might be as an individual creator in the first, in his rookie season. Knipple has just been more consistent throughout the year. And that's not Flagg's fault that he was not put in as probably as good a position to succeed as Knipple was, playing with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller and playing a less diversified offensive role. But within that role, he's been like, his shooting has legitimately been one of the best weapons in the league this year. There's only been 4 other seasons in the history of the NBA where someone has shot at least 8 threes a game and made at least 43% of their threes. Steph Curry 3 times and Duncan Robinson once, and Con Knipple this year. Like, that is not just he's been really good. This is legitimately one of the best weapons in all of professional basketball this year. And it would be one thing if he was just like Duncan Robinson and he was just out there shooting threes and that's it. He is much more than that. He's been a good defender. He's been a good passer, 3.4 assists per game, good positional rebounder, 5.2 or 5.4 rebounds per game. He's not a liability defensively. Like, Flagg is better defensively, to be sure, and more versatile defensively, to be sure. But good rebounder, good passer, best shooter in the league this year, one of the best shooting seasons of all time. Like, more consistent throughout the year. When you look at like the advanced metrics case, and I have all this handy because I wrote about my end of season awards today, and I did go with Knipple. Like,
Where can
he
you get
leads
that?
the league in all of what's that?
Where can you get that?
Last night in basketball.com. He leads the rookies in all of the advanced metrics except for LeBron at B-Ball Index and Laker, which is Neil Payne's stat. But in all of like estimated plus minus, EPM wins, the stat daily plus minus, net points, win shares, regularized adjusted plus minus, wins above replacement at both LeBron at B-Ball Index and Laker for Neil Payne. Like, and in the ones that he's not number one, he's top 2 or top 3 in all of the other ones. Like, the impact metrics all favor him, and while efficiency isn't the end all be all, it does matter, and he has been so much more efficient than Flagg throughout this season. Like, Flagg's going to be the better player. He might already be the better player. I do think Knipple has had a slightly better season.
Yeah, and I think that's the way I kind of look at it. Is I think they ultimately, at the end of the day, I'd rather have Cooper Flagg than Knipple.
Oh yeah,
just overall.
And
but
if you were on Charlotte, like, I'm not sure Charlotte would be better, but Flagg would be better.
Right.
And
You mean if he was
Charlotte
on?
would be better specifically because they really do need Knipple's shooting, and the way they weaponize it is so important for how dangerous their offense is.
And we should note, like, Cooper Flagg leads all rookies in scoring at 21.7. Like, it's not like he's had a great year.
He's been incredible. But he is one of 8 rookies ever to average at least 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. Ever. The other guy, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robertson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Sidney Wicks, and then these are the only guys since the merger. No, because Kareem was a rookie before the merger. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic, and now Flagg.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's right in the mix. So it's like, it's not a matter of like, I think personally I would still stay with Khan, but I am paying attention over the next 4 games. The door is kind of, it's more than ajar. It's a little bit more open than ajar. I don't know what term that would be. Probably enough for my dog to like run out.
It's cracked open.
Is it cracked open? I feel like ajar and cracked open is about the same. It's a little bit more where, like, it's my little pup can run out.
Like, you were trying to close it, but you didn't quite close it, so it's left a little bit open.
Yeah, this is thrilling podcast. I know between that and our For All Mankind conversation, I'm sure everybody loved this episode.
I can't wait for you to get to season 2 of For All Mankind. By the way,
I'm interested. It's going to take me a while. I'm very slowly moving along because
I'm very, very fast at watching shows because I'm one of those writers that can't have music on in the background while I'm writing. So I always have a TV show that I've already seen on in the background, so I blow through shows very quickly.
This is a difference of somebody who is single as somebody who is married. Because after I watch games and we sit down to watch our one show of the night, I don't get to pick. It's whatever we are watching as a couple. Absolutely. So and she's not watching that show. So that's the difference with all of that stuff. I'm going with Khan for now, possibly Cooper Flagg. You're sticking with Khan, but I think we both agree this is a lot closer than it was a week ago. Mm-hmm. Great weekend of really had some good games. I know all the tanking stuff. I'm going to continue to be a company man for the NBA. The tanking stuff's bad. The games on Friday night were awful. No argument. But we're still getting some great games. San Antonio, Denver. Houston Golden State was really a lot of fun last night. Make sure you check that out, Jared, and you'll enjoy it. You'll thank me for that one. I think we're going to get some fun stuff here. I think we have, Knicks Atlanta tonight that I'm kind of
Knicks Hawks. There's Detroit Orlando tonight.
Like, I'm dialed
Philly,
in for these.
San Antonio tonight, Portland Denver tonight. There's some good games.
We got some games tonight, so just I get it. I know everybody's, and it's really in vogue to shit on the league right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Charlotte Boston tomorrow, Houston Phoenix tomorrow.
we got some games, folks. So buckle up. We're going to be with you. We're going to be back on Wednesday to talk all about that stuff.
Let me throw one more thing at you before we.
As I was closing.
Another one to throw it at you. More Giannis Bucks nonsense. We've talked about this so many times this year. This is it. This is really it. Like, it's a divorce. It's over. You're not even pretending you're going to stay together for the kids anymore. One of them is moving out. Like, this is it.
It's done. It's done. Doc's going to not be the coach next year. There already seems like there's already rumors.
Everybody there is pre-fired.
Yeah, it already sounds like it's going to be Taylor Jenkins, which really sucks for Darvin Ham because he was kind of brought in to be the replacement for Doc. But it sounds like that's already kind of up in the air. Although if I'm Taylor, I'll throw one at you. Sorry, folks. I know this is like the Lord of the Rings ending of a movie that never actually fucking ends. But like I'll throw one at you. Better job, and I'm assuming this one's going to open up too. Orlando or Milwaukee?
Orlando.
Yeah, not even close, right? If I'm Taylor Jenkins, I might be waiting to see if that opens up before I go to this Orlando job. That's going to be depending on what they get for Giannis, could be just a total disaster.
I thought you were going to throw Chicago in there, and I was going to have to think a little bit more.
No, I mean,
because the Bulls don't try, but the Bucks will not be in position to try.
Right. Well, I mean, like, the Bucks want to try, so I got to give them more credit in that they actually want to try to be something, whereas the Bulls are just like, if we make the playoffs or the play-in, we're fine. We missed the playoffs. They don't even
aspire to the playoffs. They aspire to the play-in.
Yeah, so I think it's that, and the fact that you're going to lose your coach to UNC is kind of amazing to me. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's just like. I also don't know if Billy Donovan wants to go into this NIL world. Last time he coached in college was very different than what it is now. Folks, we've gone off the rail. We continue to throw stuff at each other, and you guys, unfortunately, have had to deal with it. Please don't hold that against us in the reviews. 5-star reviews, please, so much. We're going to be cutting down on some of the billions now. The millions. I'll be realistic. Millions. Thank you so much for listening to the Double Dribble Podcast.
See y'all.